How Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 affects the story so far. As you are probably aware, Poppy Playtime Chapter 4 recently released, and also if you play on console you know there's no port, so while I wait for that I'm going to make cringy videos about it, so enjoy. Basically how this is going to work is I'm going to have this footage up, I'm going to explain something, then I'm going to play the footage I was explaining about, and then I'm going to show how it's relevant to Chapter 4 through footage from Chapter 4 which I stole from other people and did give credit to. Right, I guess we should get started with Chapter 1 then. In Chapter 1, the very first tape you get is Leif Pierre pretty much explaining that if you're trespassing and you don't leave, you're pretty much done for.
Hi, my name is Leif Pierre, and I'm the head of innovation here at the Playtime Co. Toy Factory. If you're seeing this, then you're trespassing. Yeah, we play this little tape on loop whenever we close the factory for the day. So, trespasser, just to make you aware, while we pride ourselves primarily on our high-quality toys and excellent child care, we also pride ourselves on our security. For example, this facility is full of hidden motion triggers, which, once set off, will turn on the factory's emergency alarms and directly contact the authorities. And that's one of the more tame aspects of our security system. No spoilers. So, you've got my warning. It's not too late to turn around. I just hope that you're certain whatever you're doing is worth it.
And at the end of Chapter 4, we get a parody of those tape where Leif Pierre explains that you're gonna get shot if anyone sees you in the labs.
Hi, my name is Leif Pierre, and I'm the head of innovation here at Playtime Co. If you're seeing this, you must be very, very lost. Well, rest assured, friend, our state-of-the-art laboratory is just up ahead. Why don't you just go on inside and tap one of our scientists on the shoulder? Tell them you're lost. They'll be glad to help. All right. Let's be honest. You're not supposed to be here. This is the single most high-security, high-clearance section of the whole factory. When someone finds you down here, you will be shot. And before you get any ideas, don't think you can just sneak away either. No, the second you put this tape in, it set off an alarm. So if anyone's home, they know exactly where you are. Pretty nifty, huh? Security is very important to us here. If I were you, I'd start running.
Because Leif Pierre voiced both of these tapes, it's obvious that he's more than just a head of innovation. He's probably like some sort of security or something in the factory as well. At the end of Chapter 1, we kill Huggy, but obviously now with Chapter 4 we know that's obviously not the case. And now here's the end of Chapter 4.
To us here. If I were you, I'd start running.
I think it's pretty obvious how it affects the story, and obviously it shows he's definitely going to be in Chapter 5, which is great. I've always wanted him back. So that's all the main parts in Chapter 1, so I guess it's now time for Chapter 2. Yeah, I played through the entire Chapter 2 and there's not really anything that's worth talking about. I mean, I guess there's this. And I guess we see the prototype for the first time, that's kind of cool. I guess it's time for Chapter 3 then. In Chapter 3, in the Home Sweet Home area, there's a tape about Kevin, Experiment 1322, which now we know is one of Dewey's personalities, but we didn't back then.
Subject is stable. Designated 1322. Clear neural abnormalities were detected in his recent checkup. Though highly irregular, we've pulled him from the home sweet home just before lights out to perform...
What is he doing with my friend?
What are you doing out of bed? How did you get in here?
Is Kevin sick? Why did you take him away?
Yes. Kevin is very sick. Very, very sick. But we want to make him better. But he can only get better if we take him to where we can provide proper care and give him proper rest.
Well, do you really think he will be okay?
I should think so. We're good at what we do, son. We paid attention in school, learned, and got our proper rest when we needed it. Just like you need it now, I should think. Come now, let's get you on back to bed.
Okay.
It's been a pleasure meeting you, Joseph. And I promise you, your friend will be all right. When you see him again, he'll have never been better.
And in chapter 4, we get to see this tape, which is pretty much like part 2 to the tape in chapter 3.
After a brief interruption, we've successfully extracted subject 1322, specifically 1322B from the home sweet home. Before said interruption, I attempted to detail the subject's condition and overview the suitability of one Kevin Barnes in relation to Project Dowie. The neural abnormalities noted in Dr. Newman's report are detailed in connection to behavioral issues demonstrated within play care. Trouble getting along with others, aggressive and often confrontational social tendencies, and an otherwise combative nature clearly relay that Kevin is, put simply, a problem child. What friends he does have, he's reported to have attacked in moments of intense play. These tendencies raise concerns. The subject excels in all physical tests. Reflexes, reaction time, and mental fortitude all tested well above average in game station examinations. So, in spite of said concerns, in Dr. Sawyer's eyes, Kevin is ideal for the project. However, if his use in this particular experiment is to move forward, we need to ensure we're not creating a time bomb just as we've begun stabilizing the entire project. If we're to create an experiment that can fulfill multiple assigned roles, we can't allow any single consciousness to throw the others off. Even a simple misregulation of emotions means we have 900 pounds of dough that can shift however it pleases and can turn on even those it trusts, simply because it was overwhelmed by a stray feeling. Regardless, Sawyer's word is law, and subjects 1322A and C are to be gathered for processing first thing tomorrow morning. Thus, all we can do is plan our safeguards accordingly. Yes, that's all we can do.
I actually find this kind of cool because they teased Dowie all the way back in chapter 3 before we even got any teasers or any idea who he could possibly even be, so that's kind of funny. In the council's office, there's a tape with Stella Grover, and it pretty much shows that she doesn't know that the experiments existed.
Oh, Mr. and Mrs. Hartman. Come on in. Please, have a seat. How was your ride down?
It was, nothing like we were expecting. Mr. Ludwig's speech was, well, it just confirms for us that you're the orphanage we want to go through.
It's a truly magical place. I felt right at home from the second I entered. You open that door the first time and you just know you're never going to leave. Kind of like finding a home as a child and always thinking of it when you want to feel comforted. I understand you want to give Jeremy that home?
Yes, and we would like to adopt.
Amazing. You'll be perfect for... Oh.
What?
Well, it appears there's been some complications.
Complications?
Oh, what kind of complications? I don't know. The form says testing. What does that mean? Tell us, what does that mean?
Miss Graver, we deserve a better explanation than that. Don't you think?
You're in charge of all this. How could you not know?
And why are we only finding out about this now?
I don't. I'm sorry.
And in chapter 4, we get to see this tape.
So, Miss Graver, have you considered what we talked about?
Yes, Mr. Pierre. I won't lie. I was at a loss for words at first. The information hit me pretty hard. I felt so badly. I still do. For the ones that go through the, testing.
You really care about them?
Yes. It hurts to see them hurt. I don't think there's any way around that feeling. But I did some soul searching and got to thinking about the bigger picture, about what your researchers wrote.
And?
Well, the work itself, what you've all been able to do, I mean, it's nothing short of a miracle. I know you have more goals to hit, but even as is, just, wow. Do they know when it'll be fully ready?
We're still working out the timeline.
I see.
You know, the project lead, Dr. Sawyer, wasn't sure about giving you that information in the first place. He thinks your affection towards those kids could be a liability. What do you think about that?
I took this job because I wanted to help change kids' lives for the better. Of course, these procedures are far from ideal. I cried like a baby when I read them. But I started looking past the here and now. Started looking down the road a bit. And that's when it clicked. What your researchers can do down here will someday help a lot of people out there. Including so many kids. That's a bigger and better change than I could ever have hoped to make. That's a change I want to help make.
I knew you'd understand.
It's clear that in the chapter 3 tape, Stella didn't know about the experiments, and because this happened, Leif Pierre explained the experiments to her, and that's what we see in the chapter 4 tape. Well, you made it to the end of the video. Thanks for watching, and please join my Discord and follow my Twitch. I should have it up on screen. It really helped me out. Have a good rest of your day. See you next time.